right, everybody, we're live. Episode 5, Season 2 of Just the Gi Top podcast. So tonight our guest is none other than Chris Lee Byrne. So Chris was on for our first Bro Culture episode back early in Season 1, back in our young days. So thanks for coming, Chris.
You're welcome.
So Chris is the owner of Body of 4 London. He's a purple belt under Marco Costa. Just recently won his first pro MMA fight, so pro MMA record of 1-0, third round heel hook, so we'll definitely be discussing that. So as usual, we have Ahmed Sharani.
Hello.
And we have Jordan Short.
Hello.
Yeah, Rami Charani was not able to make it today due to whatever reason. No, Rami.
No, he's competing. He's competed today, and he's not home yet. So that's his reason.
Rami is currently licking his wounds, so we wish Rami the best. So, Chris, yeah, as I said, you had your first pro MMA fight. Was that 2 weeks ago now?
No, last Saturday.
Oh, yeah, it was last weekend, yeah. So maybe walk us through that a little bit in terms of, because you had, 3 amateur fights before that?
Well, I had some fights in, that AMA style with, the shin guards and headgear, and I only had 2 actual 4-ounce, legitimate MMA fights. So
how was this experience as opposed to your amateur fights in terms of preparation or the actual fight itself?
For this one, I actually trained. I tried to train like a professional. So I went and sparred Jesse Ronson and Chris Clements and all those guys at Adrenaline. They have so many signed UFC fighters there. But I just got really the shit beat out of me the entire time, and I felt like I sucked at jiu-jitsu and I sucked at wrestling and I sucked at striking. But I just kept going. So, and the fight even itself was pretty intense. It was back and forth. I actually felt really calm preparing for it. I didn't feel any nerves whatsoever, considering it was in my hometown, and it was Budweiser Gardens, right? But I actually felt no nerves preparing. I felt no nerves really the day of, and backstage I started to feel a bit, but still nothing really. For my amateur fights, I thought I was so into it, And then right when I got out there, my body just tensed up, and I went really flat-footed and just tried to bang, bro. That's all I tried.
Yeah, I remember I was messaging Chris a couple days ago, and he's like, yeah, I just dug my heels into the dirt, man. I just was banging. And it's I never saw the fight. I don't know if it's been released on YouTube or not. If you have it, I'd like to see it one day. But explain it to us. You said it was back and forth. Was it just shot for shot? Your face looked like shit after.
Well, I like to think of it like it was back and forth, but
yeah.
he had a lot of reach, man. He was good, man. He was tough, So I think I took more shots than him for sure on the stand-up, I got some leg kicks. I got a body kick at one point. We were checking each other's kicks too. My shins are destroyed even right now. It's definitely not jiu-jitsu, at the end of the day, jiu-jitsu is what mattered, man. We were both exhausted in the 3rd round, and I had some jit skills, and, he did too, but, it ended with jiu-jitsu.
That's amazing. And, go ahead, Adam. Go ahead.
No, maybe just talk about that a bit. You don't see a lot of 50-50 in MMA. So heel hook finish from 50-50. How did that happen?
Well, as much as I can in a roll, I like to scissor. So, but he was wrestling me, and he was holding me up against the cage, and I felt like I was gonna get slammed. So I rolled for a knee bar, and then I was trying to break. I heard a bunch of people yelling, and then trying to switch to toe hold, then to the straight ankle lock, and then he just sat up in 50 and started trying 50-50 and started trying to punch me. So I switched to the heel hook.
Now, did he tap right away, or was it a painful, there's some damage done, or?
Well, I definitely felt like there was damage done, but as far as I hear now, he's okay, so good, right? But
yeah,
I tanked on it, though, for sure, and I waited until the ref stopped me, not him.
Did you guys have any hype before? Were you guys trash talking each other on Twitter? And, a lot of guys do this. Were you guys into that, or were you guys just really professional?
No, it was pretty much it was kind of more like we were just competing against each other, so we were just trolling each other and, friendly shit talking, pretty much, nothing serious.
Yeah,
but then so at the weigh-ins and stuff, he was getting very serious, and I was like, "What the fuck, dude?"
Yeah, I saw the video of the weigh-ins. He was right in your face.
I thought we were cool, man.
Yeah,
You
'cause
don't seem like the
My corner.
you don't seem like the kind of guy who has to get himself all worked up in order to go into a cage and hit somebody.
No, not really. I just had fun, man. That's it. I just having fun. So, no, my cornermen were like holding his stuff that he changed out of to do the stare down with me. He's like, and my cornerman takes and he's holding it, Jay, and then he comes up to me and he's like, ugh, right in my face. I'm like, what the fuck, man? And after he's like, all right, have a good day. You know, it's all nice right after. I don't know. It's all new to me.
Chris, can I ask a question? Of course I can ask you a question, but and if you can answer it, and if you can't, you don't have to. But I've always wondered, in professional MMA in London, Ontario, whatever, how much do they pay you, if you don't mind me asking?
Nothing, like, really, man. You make make about $1,000, you know, as a debuting guy. But I made a lot more. I got like from the whole experience with sponsors, I probably pulled like 4 or 5 G's.
Wow, good for you. That's amazing.
they
Like, honestly, jiu-jitsu people were crazy, man. For a guy with like debuting one, like, it's my first pro fight. Really, it's still nothing. Like, anybody could do a pro fight, you know what I mean? But it was.
I wouldn't say that.
No, I mean, hey, not saying anybody can win a pro fight. I'm saying you can sign up and go do it, and then, like, you know, be like, I'm a pro fighter, man. But it's like it's not a deal, you know. But the jiu-jitsu people, like, in Ontario, man, I honestly got so much messages and crazy shit. Like, it really helped. I think even with sponsors, like, everything, you know, like, it's awesome.
Wow, I thought you were gonna like cut a promo on the jiu-jitsu scene in Ontario, but then you actually turned.
I kind of am, man. Like,
yeah.
Like, you know, I sold a lot of tickets for a guy debuting as first MMA fight, and like it was a lot to jiu-jitsu people. Like, my banner was in Toronto, and I wouldn't even had it, but Brent grabbed it from Toronto and came down with Emily and brought my banner for me.
Former JPGT. I guess he just made a special guest appearance on one episode when he called out his brother.
Yeah. No.
With the nice socks.
Yeah. So you got a lot of support. You got a lot of support from the jiu-jitsu community. Well, why is that? Like, I have my theory, but I'm curious as to what your theory is.
Because we all just fucking love jiu-jitsu, man, and that's what it's about, really. I don't know.
I was gonna take a different angle. I was gonna say, I mean, that's a very good answer, but no, seriously. I think the reason you got a lot of a lot of support from the jiu-jitsu community is because they wish that they were like they wish that what they did was like a fight, like what you just said. I think. You know what I mean?
Maybe, man. I don't know.
and that's a segue into our next topic. Is and you're guilty of this yourself. You always you'll do jiu-jitsu and you call it a fight as well, and then you actually went and banged. So yeah, what is a fight to you, man? Exactly.
I'm not sure, man. Like, I don't really know, you know. Like, I don't even know how to answer that question or what that question really even means.
Okay. Adam, Jordan, anybody, like, you guys feel me? You feel what I'm saying?
I don't know, man. Like, I don't necessarily feel like jiu-jitsu is a fight. I think it's a match. Like, there's so many specific rules that prevent you from, like, even within, like, jiu-jitsu itself. Like, okay, you're not allowed to punch, you're not allowed to kick in a jiu-jitsu match, but you're also not allowed to do other jiu-jitsu techniques in a jiu-jitsu match. Like, I don't know. There's so many rules and everything. So many things are restricted. How could you call it a fight?
Well, I actually don't think jiu-jitsu is a fight. Ahmed totally just put that on me, and I kind of. But what I will say is it's a big jump. Like, I'll notice, like, you'll see a kickboxer and they'll see it, and I've heard, like, kickboxers making fun of jiu-jitsu, like, that's not a fight, bro, you know, and fair enough, it's probably not, but is MMA even a fight? Like, where do you draw that line, you know? Like, is kickboxing a fight? I don't think it is. If jiu-jitsu is not a fight, then these aren't either, right? A real fight would be like, what, no time limit and just crazy shit happening, right?
You should be allowed to soccer kick, I think.
Like old school Valley Judo stuff.
If we're seeing who the best fighter is, there should be, like, damn near no rules except for, like, what, eye gouging and biting, and then just no time rounds, and that would be a fight for sure. UFC 1's a fight, you know, but jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, even MMA now, I still don't think it's really a fight, really, if we're going to get right into it.
That's amazing. That's an amazing perspective. and I respect that. Do you know who was winning up until your match there, the first 2 rounds? Like, do they? Are you privy to that information or no?
Well, I could kind of, I could really tell during the fight.
You know what? I read an article that said that I think the judges had it 1-1 going into the third.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like watching it live, like Chris controlled most of the first round. You know, you're in mount, but Raph was doing a pretty good job of just controlling posture, and then he rolled to guard, and he was in Chris's guard, and like every time Chris went to throw up an armbar, which was like at least 2 or 3 times, Raph was doing a pretty good job of dropping some heavy punches and elbows. So from what I heard, that they gave Chris the first round, but I think I honestly thought it could have gone either way. Like when you went into the third round, Chris, I was like I thought that you had to sub him in the third round.
Well, I thought the first round, for like 3 minutes, I was in mount, but I didn't really get any damage off. And then I was like, had his back, couldn't really get a choke. And then back in mount, and then he just went like benched me out, and then he was on top. And he was doing dramatic stuff, like it looked like I was in danger, looked like I was taking punches, but only really one punch got through. It was a good one, but really one punch only got through in that whole, like, it was just a lot of like drama coming up and down. and then the round was over. Second round, he was winning the stand-up a bit. That's when I tried to bang a bit. and then I was losing in that, that's for sure. And then I started trying to land some leg kicks. I got a body kick. Then he took me down, and he got a nice elbow in my face at one point. That was like gave me a black eye. And then I tried to smother him out a bit. I could feel that he was like kind of bench press crazy. So I thought if I just stayed in his guard and like chipped his body a bit, he'd just try to bench me a few times, and then he'd be nice and tired. And then I got his head finally pinned against the cage and got full posture and gave one elbow. And then the ref, like, I was kind of borderline stally, you know. But then the point right when I finally have him pinned, I have full posture. I give one elbow. It's like clearly the moment I'm gonna shine. And the ref's like, stand it up now, stand it up. And I'm like, you know. And then so I had him winning the second round. I thought I won the first. But in between rounds, my cornerman Andrew Elliott, he told me that to just assume I lost both rounds and then submit him. And luckily that happened, I guess, because it was it's taking some shots.
What was the crowd like there? Again, sorry, I wasn't there, and Adam, maybe I could have just asked you off air. But was there a lot of people there, a lot of fans, a lot of support from your family and friends?
Yeah, man, it was crazy. Like it was a Budweiser Gardens, man. There was like UFC vets on the card, right? For me to debut like that was pretty sweet. Definitely an experience, you know. I'm gonna take it slow though, man. Like I have so much to learn. Like really like starting to train MMA seriously has like make me realize just how the game's huge, man. Like every aspect of it, you know. Like right when you start, like I don't know, man. I've been training with really good people, you know. Dave Knowles was actually coming down a lot too. I don't know.
Yeah, I know him.
You know, and I was rolling him lots for this camp too, and Dave's a beast also, right?
So explain. Sorry. So if you made, let's say, on average 5,000, right? And if you fought 7 times a year, let's just say you did 7 times a year, so almost 1.5 months, 6 weeks, 8 weeks in between, you can actually make a pretty decent living. And considering you also run your own club, the jiu-jitsu club there, you can actually do a pretty good living there. Is that something that you're thinking of doing? And then, of course, you can open up your MMA gym because you got some credentials. Is this something long-term you're thinking?
My thing is like, if I'm going to make a living at all doing anything like this, I'm going to have to do like many aspects of it, you know what I mean? And get involved in every single one I can, because it's going to be pretty much a bunch of like mediocre amounts of money together that'll make something happen, you know. And really right now I don't have kids, I'm not married, so this is like kind of maybe something I can do for who knows how much longer, you know. Right now I know I like to put all my time into training and competing as often as I can, and so right now that's my priority. That's really it. We'll see what happens with it, I guess.
So focus back to jiu-jitsu now?
Yeah, pretty much I'm fighting according to my suspensions. I'm going to do 2 years right now. I'm doing as many pro fights as I can. And then whenever I don't have a pro fight, I'm just eyeing a jiu-jitsu tournament. And that's just what I'm going to do, like, nonstop.
How long before you think you would get back into the cage?
Maybe end of November, like no longer than 2 or 3 months. That was only a 2-week suspension.
That's a pretty quick turnaround, actually, end of November, considering it was only last week. Like, that's what, 6 weeks?
Yeah, I'm just gonna treat it like jujitsu, man. Like compete as much as I can and get that ring time until it's as comfortable as competing jujitsu.
Does MMA ever get comfortable though? I mean, and I'm gonna use an example. Sorry, Jordan, are we bothering
Sorry,
you?
everybody. Hold up, Jordan's got a phone call. He's got
Jordan,
to
yeah, go ahead. We'll.
No, it's fine. It'll
You
go
sure?
away.
Oh, okay.
I'll wait.
Sorry. Where I was going was, oh man, you lost the whole thing about ring rust. No, not ring rust. Sorry, getting comfortable in the cage. Now, there's an example. I'm sure you guys all know Caro Parisian, right? I followed his career from way back, like 2005 maybe. Anyway, so what he did is he fought MMA around 16 years old. Okay, so he's only like, I don't know, 33 now or something. But anyway, so he's fought tons of fights. You look him up on SureDog, you'll see what I'm talking about. He's had a lot of big matches, Diego Sanchez, Nick Diaz, etc., etc., etc. Then he suffered from panic attacks. All right, and now he's scared. Now I don't want to, Cairo, if you hear this, don't come after me. But I hear he gets so much anxiety, he's scared now to fight anymore. It's probably a mental whatever condition or something. So I guess what I'm asking is that, do you think you'll ever get used to getting in the cage like it's another day in the office?
I think well, to be honest, I don't fucking know, man. This is my first fight. but maybe we're gonna see.
I'm treating you like a professional athlete, though. Don't you see it? Like I'm like, Chris, I'm asking you all these really, thought-provoking questions. Like, how the fuck should I know, man? What the fuck? I don't know. I'm trying to.
If anybody, just knowing Chris, as long as I've known Chris, even outside of jiu-jitsu personally, if anybody could get comfortable fighting, it would be Chris. He might be the craziest person I've ever met. In a good way.
Thank you.
So, okay.
I'll say what I'll do is I'm just going to treat it like jiu-jitsu, man. I don't feel any anxiety. When I compete in jiu-jitsu, it feels like nothing. We're just training, whatever, let's roll. But so I kind of looked at it like that through the whole camp and the day of the fight, and that's maybe why I felt no nerves. But when it came time, when I actually stepped in the cage, I still felt no nerves, very comfortable, but my body actually tensed up, and I was just my body reacted still completely, I'm a way better striker and wrestler than I got to show in my fight even, I feel like no disrespect to Raph, he's tough as fuck, we were beat up after, and he was arguably winning the fight, right? But I feel like it was kind of his best performance, and I kind of feel like I shit the bed still a bit. I didn't really get to show what I can do as much, Even the jiu-jitsu, I caught an ankle lock, but I still feel like I'm much better than I got to show,
That's good.
It from I'm always the jiu-jitsu community guy, but there was, when you look at the people that were in the audience that night, there was a ton of jiu-jitsu people there, and it was really nice to see, right? There was, all the jiu-jitsu clubs in London, obviously. There was a big team there from Ascension. There was some, a bunch of people from other clubs outside of Toronto and in Toronto too. So a lot of the same faces you see regularly at tournaments in Ontario, you saw there. So it was nice to see, and lots of support for jiu-jitsu, and there was lots of good jiu-jitsu on the card too. There was, I think, 3 matches that ended in rear naked choke. Two of them, the person went out. So it was there was a lot of good jiu-jitsu too.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's like seeing CLB going out for MMA, and I'll say this for anybody locally who I know who competes jiu-jitsu and wants to branch into MMA. I'm kind of rooting for you guys, because it's you're taking one small little fraction of what mixed martial arts is, and you're representing it out there in a real fight. So I do really respect that. So that's why I bet you got all that support there. Because how many guys do we see who do really well in jiu-jitsu branch into MMA? I think there's a couple others. I don't want to say their names now in case I'm wrong. But there are some from Toronto BJJ, I believe, who are doing MMA. They're doing well. So it's good to see. It's good to see, and not everybody has the balls to do it, right? So that's the other thing, right?
Yeah, I think Dave Hale fought on that card as well. I think he unfortunately lost his match. There was a lot of Xavier Nash from Ascension fought. Oh. So there was a few jiu-jitsu people.
How did he do? I've heard of him. Did he win? I don't know.
Who's that?
How did Xavier Nash do? Did he win?
Yeah, Xavier won his match.
Oh, good for him.
I think it was the first match of the night.
Okay.
Josh Rich from Gracie Baja Chatham fought as well. I think he fought. I can't remember, but yeah, there was lots of jiu-jitsu guys there, so it was nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah.
Quebec or something, I think. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Right out.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's-
Josh choked that guy unconscious.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, he was getting beat up and then ended up taking his back and choking him out with rear naked choke.
Like a schoolboy farm boy choke too. Like I have.
That's
Oh yeah. Chris, after your win, did you guys like embrace? Because you guys. No, hold on, not done. Let me finish. No, like, did you guys go do the after party together? Were you guys like best friends? I hear MMA really brings that out in one another. Because like we brought up the whole I just want to bang, bro. Remember that? You know how they really love each other. There's a lot of crying. Like, did you have any of that?
Not really. I kind of just got drunk.
Okay, you just got drunk. Okay, I don't know. Are you guys close? Are you guys friends? Like, do you say, hey, you can come train with me?
Me and Raph are cool. Like, you know,
Okay.
it was weird. It was weird because like it didn't feel very real the whole time. And then when we got in there, it was like we were worst enemies, just trying to knock each other out, like, you know. And then after the fight, we saw each other a bit, and it was like normal again, you know.
Well, you guys trained together, didn't you? When you were at round one.
Yeah, we did. He'd come over and we'd do like MMA sparring together. We'd roll some no-gi. Like we're actually we're good buddies. We were, you know.
Oh wow, yeah, nice.
And then, but we fought. You know, we talked a bit after the fight. We just like messaged each other, joking around, like, oh, are you beat up? I sent him a picture, and I had like a black eye and welts all over my head. Then he sent me a picture too. He had 2 black eyes. And I was like, good.
Man, I feel like that's not a satisfying answer for Ahmed. I feel like he was looking for a little bit more intimacy, and that's what he was sort of pushing for, and he didn't get it. And
there definitely was that. Like we shared that moment. You know, it was intense, man. After we were like hugging, like, oh, thanks.
I love you. Like, did you raise his hand? You know when they do that?
He did that to me.
See,
Yes,
okay.
it did. Yeah, it happened.
Yeah, see, like that sees
Chris did check on him to make sure his knee hadn't exploded after the heel hook.
Yeah, I did check on
See,
him.
that's what I'm talking about. There's that. You guys went into a cage, and let's be honest, Chris, you could have died in there.
I signed a waiver that if I did die, no one could sue.
Exactly. I mean, you know what's funny? We also signed up for jiu-jitsu, which horrific accidents can happen, but more so the odds are higher in MMA, of course. So like what I'm getting is that you guys really put your bodies on the line, you know, as a spectacle to all the fans out there and paying customers, you know. So that's what I was getting at, is that like you guys just you came out, you were able to get drunk like you said. He's able to go home and all that in relatively one piece. You know, like that's what I'm saying. It's like, do you guys celebrate that? Do you go like, holy shit, man? Like, do you see what we just did? Like that. I've never even been in that situation. That's how I'd feel. I'd probably be crying.
We talked a little bit, and we both actually were pretty pumped that we can just put on a back and forth fight. Like it was actually really competitive, you know. There was moments where people thought that I had it like close, and there was moments where they're like, "Oh shit, Chris is getting the shit kicked out of him."
Yeah, that's wild, man. Hey, so listen, Chris, can we change gears there? We talked about MMA, and that was awesome. And guys, if you're okay with this, if I may.
can I ask one more thing before we switch topics?
All right, yeah, go ahead.
I did want to ask you, Chris. You don't cut weight or anything when you're competing jiu-jitsu, right? You just kind of compete whatever weight class you're at, right?
Pretty much, yeah. I just show up.
How was that like? Because you would cut weight for this fight, though, right?
Well, to be honest, if I was training if I was eating properly, I wouldn't really have had to. You know, I cut in the bigger picture of things. I really cut no weight. You know, like me fighting at 186, I'm still so small. He was like what 6'3" or 6'4" or something, and I'm 5'10", fat. But like, but he's like
5'7", Chris.
I hear that a lot. I hate it. Fuck you.
You're not 5'10", are you? For real?
5'10", yeah.
Holy shit. All right.
How short do I look? Like, what the fuck?
I don't know, man.
I wish I had a picture right now of what was that, the Ontario Open 2 years ago, Chris, where you were like 215 with a shaved head and like your ear had exploded, so you just had like tape wrapped around your head.
Yeah. Yep.
That was
I had it
a beautiful picture.
in the hotel room. My ear like swelled shut, and I like couldn't even touch the side of my cheek. But we already drove there, and I was just like, "Fuck it, I'm still competing."
See, and that's like, I don't know. You know, one thing I've always respected Chris for is that he's the guy that'll just walk in and be like, yeah, sure, I'll compete today, right? Like, I went to a tournament with him once, and he wasn't even registered, and he just got there, and he's like, yeah, sure, I'll compete. And then he just went in, and actually that was the one match that Chris and I had. But, you know, like, I've never seen Chris have like, any nerves before a tournament. It's bullshit, and I hate it.
Can I switch the topic?
Yeah, you can switch gears. Yeah, go ahead.
Chris, you know, we were since we last spoke with you, you were training somewhere else, but now you obviously run a school. So I want to kind of talk to you a little bit about that. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, you know, it should be a good conversation.
Yeah, I know. Well, you know what? It's not going to be like what you think. So I just want to know, like, what made you want to start your own practice, as they say?
Well, for me, it was just where I was at wasn't a fit, you know. Like, I had a lot of friends there, but just there wasn't a real connection with me and the head instructor there. So, like, I kind of needed that connection, you know. So I just wanted to find what was a fit for me. I kind of was, like, talking to Steve Poulin, who runs Adam's Gym, and he just kind of gave me the idea. He's like, you already have a bunch of students. You know what I mean? You really just need mat space. Why even, like, just join another gym, you know? You could keep just you and your friends together and get your own thing going. And I was like, fair enough. So then I was like, well, who am I going to go under, right? So I was like, oh, I could fly in the most famous fucking guy in jiu-jitsu once a year and just tell everybody that that's my boy, you know? And then I was like, you know what? No, I'm not going to do that. So Marco Costa was someone I just kind of already had a relationship. He was cornering me at tournaments sometimes, and like it just fit, you know what I mean? And he's the kind of guy who would just like make his way down here often. I still can get cornered by him all the time. It fit for what I needed to do, and you know, I have no regrets about it.
That's awesome. So you obviously have your own place. Did you rent from somewhere? Do you?
We rent mat space from Adrenaline MMA. They actually like have their own program. We're technically not affiliated with them in any way. Our program's completely separate, but it's pretty awesome for us because like if you've ever been to Adrenaline MMA, they have like the nicest facility. They have like dry saunas. They have like matted separate like 2 different floors. They have cage, rings, bags. You know, so like I do all my MMA and kickboxing with them. I'll go there and get beat up by them, and then jiu-jitsu I just kind of do my own thing, and you know. I keep a small, tight-knit team. It's really just like my close friends and like some white belts and a couple blues that I've developed along the way. And then it was just like a small, like it's like 20 people, 25 people, and we just train like psychos and try to hit as many tournaments as we can.
Nice.
So how many classes do you run at your place, Chris?
4 nights a week, but it's like pretty much like a 3-hour session each time.
That's cool.
And Chris, you do something that I haven't seen done before, and I think is really a good idea, or at least you were at one point. Is you offer a discounted membership to students who compete, right?
Yeah, we still do that.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, right? Because you see, like Chris's little school, like Body of 4 London, sometimes has like I've seen tournaments you guys have 6, 8, 10 people out competing. It's good it helps to get a big team out for tournaments.
Yeah, like pretty much everybody on my team is down to compete. Like unless there's just some situation that they can't do. And it's not like that competing's like the be all end all, but it's a part of the growth. You know, it's encourage. You know, you just see what you're made of. Why not? You know, and then you know, it's not that they have to or don't have to, but I give them a cheaper discount if they do. A lot of people, I think, a lot of clubs are super money hungry, man. Like when someone competes, if you have a purple to black belt who competes once a month in a jiu-jitsu tournament and he's like refs or he runs a fucking podcast, you know what I mean? These are things that it like benefits your club also, you know what I mean? So I feel like if you're competing often for my club and you're wearing my patches and you know what I mean? I think that should benefit you in some way because it sure as hell benefits me, right?
See, that's fucking brilliant, actually. That should be encouraged. Like that, I don't even know what to say except that I agree with that 100%. I don't know. Jordan, do you agree with that?
I think it sounds pretty good. I think that we should see it.
You're like, I want that fucking discount at my club.
I would like a discount as well. I think that would be awesome.
Well,
Chris,
you know what?
how is your jiu-jitsu experience changed, if any, now that you're running a school? Like in terms of just being a paying customer, training under somebody else, to now like having the responsibilities of like making a curriculum and teaching classes and being responsible for other people's safety. Like, has your outlook on jiu-jitsu changed at all?
Definitely. Like, for me, I'm not the most organized dude. Adam knows me well, So, but like what I try to do is I find a way that it works for me. Like I'll emphasize on something for like a month or two, and then I'll just move to the next thing. And like again, Marco's actually pretty hands-on. Like sometimes if we're training with him or something, we just bring it back, and then that's something will work for a bit. But for the most part, for my game personally, it's like my fundamentals have got like through the roof. Like all the simple stuff, I'm like way better at now because I've reviewed it so many times. You know what I mean? But I'm really lucky, man. I still get to like purple to black belts can train for free completely with me. That's how I do it. So I have a bunch of purple belts and brown belts that are there all the time. Dave Knowles is there 3 times a week. Shane Fishman's there 3 times a week. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm always getting good rolls no matter what. Like, I always have lots of purples around. Ryan Mineker's around a lot too. Like I do it because I love jiu-jitsu, right? So I'm not trying to make money. So it's kind of, even though I'm the guy running, people look at it like, oh, he's a purple belt running a club, so like they could take away from that maybe, right? But I make an environment though where that I can get better too. Like I try to pull in seminars as much as possible. And if Dave Knowles is there, he could teach a class, and I'll pick his brain. If another good purple belt's there, I'll pick their brain. I think Adam comes by, I pick his brain too, I get some deep half guard techniques. Like I'm really, I try to just run it away where I'm learning too,
It's amazing. Since we had you last, you were a blue belt. Now, obviously, you got promoted to purple, and you've been competing quite well as purple belt. What's the biggest change you've seen from the gap in talent from a blue belt to a purple belt? Now, you've been facing some monsters too, and I've seen some of those matches. So,
really,
yeah.
Just Nathan Dos Santos is the big difference, man. Like, to beat a guy like that, you really got to be 100% focused on gi and jiu-jitsu, and like, because that's what he is, and he's a monster at it. Like he's really the guy who's like everything feels the same, man. Like I don't know, like I haven't noticed a huge difference in like talent or results, really. I was never like the guy who's gonna win every time, but I always feel like I'm in the mix for sure, But Dos Santos, man, he's a beast. He smashed me like 3 or 4 times since I got my purple. So.
Do you find that it's what they call the professional belt right now?
I guess. Like some people say it's like a mini black belt once you get to purple. Like I definitely notice the divisions are always kind of been small at my weight class, but the divisions are small. But the people who compete as a purple belt, it's like people who are really passionate. Blue belt kind of weeds them out. Like there's no guys who competing at purple belt who don't like damn near live jiu-jitsu in like every aspect of their life. They're either like a pro fighter, maybe they run a club, maybe they're just like a guy who's completely obsessed with jiu-jitsu and that's all he watches and talks about. You know what I mean? Like there's not at blue belt you might verse a guy who's still like is not really in that mentality, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I'm fucking brainstorming out loud here.
No. Just want to throw a question out there. Why did you duck me at the last Grappling Industries tournament?
I just got really scared the night before, so.
That's fair.
It was a week out from my fight, and I really wanted to do it, and just a couple of situations before that I couldn't make it. David Aguzzi was pissed. He said I ruined this entire tournament, and I'm.
That's understandable.
So hold on. So you were supposed to compete? Like, sorry, Adam, were you and him matched up?
Yeah, because I did advanced no-gi, so Chris and I would have been in the same division.
Oh, okay. And that didn't work out. That didn't play out, obviously. Okay. And sorry, Chris, why was somebody upset with you?
No, Aguzzi was just mad because I was going to compete and I fucked up the brackets because I didn't message or say that I wasn't coming or something. I don't know.
Oh, I see.
I didn't, it's like if I sign up for the division, I'm sure like Andre and Adam, they're like, oh, we got a decent division. There's like 3 or 4 of us, you know, we all can get a bronze.
I'll add it to. I wanted to add another, default bronze to my wall of blue belt bronzes.
How do you feel about the 4th place bronze? What do you think about that?
I don't know. I take all hardware I can get, and but at the end of the day, man, I don't like. I love competing, and that's huge to me. But I don't truly like the big. Out of all my medals, I only really care like the ones that probably actually matter at all is my IBJJF gold and the Ontario Open gold. Like they all really just don't fucking mean a thing, like it's just to get better, right?
That's interesting that you say that. Why is that? Why do you put a little? So what gold do you have in IBJJF?
Oh, blue belt.
Sorry, where? Sorry.
IBJJF Toronto. It's like
Toronto. Okay.
Yeah. Really, I'm a regional guy. I've never been to Worlds or anything. I've competed in Alberta lots. I've competed in Ontario lots, and like that's really it, But I do like all the close tournaments, That for 2015, my goal really is just to do the big ones only. Like actually go to Worlds and like actually. I always looked at it like this: like we could all just fucking go to Worlds, but I always thought like if you're not, you want to have some type of results before you go, So I was like, I'll get all the experience I can, and when I think that I can set like 6 months aside and focus on jiu-jitsu specifically and focus on going to Worlds, and I feel like I'm confident with my game, that's when I'll go to Worlds, What are you doing, Adam? Something, man.
No, nothing. We're just hanging out.
Yeah, man. No. It's just interesting. You said that Ontario Open and IBJJF are all the ones that matter to you. The other ones are just kind of your practice, correct?
Yeah, I feel like they're all practice, really, right? That's the only thing about it. Other than Worlds, like nothing really would matter, right? But I mean, those are the not to disrespect any other tournaments that have happened or I've competed in. They're all great. They're all been key. You know what I mean? But I'm saying, we all get a nice pile of hardware, and I don't think that that's really why we do it.
Yeah, no. I
bring my family and friends over, and I show them my medals. Like, yeah, that one. I had, I think I can't even remember how many people were in this division. Probably 2. And then I won gold. It was pretty sweet.
Hey, Chris, have you experienced any severe, as they say, like bro type items that pop up in your club? Do you filter all that out?
Some still come in. We actually send a lot of people away, though. Like I said, we try to keep it really small.
That's what I was going to get at that. You said it's like a lot of friends and people and stuff like that. So what about the general public that pops in? Because I know at my club, you get the odd, meathead that walks in, he'll get schooled and he never shows up again, right? But you must get that.
To do privates with Adam most of the time. I hang out a lot, and that's pretty much it. He's really bro. That's what I do.
Do you find that you get more of that though? I don't know, it being at Adrenaline or anything. Do you get like that crossover from guys who want to do MMA and then they come and do jiu-jitsu and they bring that kind of attitude with them?
And Adrenaline, they got a good jiu-jitsu program too. They got Rowan there. He's a black belt. They're for the most part training with them. It benefits me, I find. Benefits everybody really, just to have more training partners.
Yeah.
Like we have a lot of girls actually. For how small our team is, we have a lot of chicks, and we send what?
No. I just love how you're like, yeah, we got a lot of chicks. It's like yeah, we got a lot of broads. I just love it.
I wouldn't say broads. But I mean, as much as I might not be like the typical guy you'd expect to be running a school that has like a good women's program, I kind of I do a couple rules. Like for one, the one we talked about last time, where I'm like, guys don't ask girls to roll, and girls can ask guys, so they can kind of choose who they want, and then without having that awkward situation where that one fucking guy who's always ready to roll that 100-pound chick, So we end up sending some people away if it's a really we've had a couple of guys who come in and the creepiest fuck, and we have to tell them.
Just speaking of, this is Chris. Was this the gold medal match, Chris?
No. But yeah, same.
This is affectionately known as the bully choke from Chris here.
Now, man, some bunch of my students do it in their white belt divisions, and yeah, I think Brent did it in his last tournament and like tagged me in a picture.
That's a sweet choke, actually.
It was the worst part was the tap. The guy was just so defeated. It was just like a single smack on the mat.
Yeah.
It does. It looks mean. It does look really mean.
I like to think of myself as very fluid and gentle.
Hey, Chris, now that you're competing more in jiu-jitsu right now, you switch gears. Is there any titles that you would like that you think are achievable, of course, that you really want to add to your resume in the next 6 to 12 months?
Like I said, the 2015's year, I just want to do the big tournaments. You know, I don't know how much of a chance I got or don't got, man. Purple belt and up isn't really a game anymore. You know, every time I show up, if I show up Abu Dhabi Pro Trials, you know, I'm gonna do that. They're coming to Toronto, right? I'll see Dos Santos again. We'll see how that goes this time, right? So just keep grinding, you know, do the big tournaments, face the good people, see what happens along the way.
Okay. All right. And is there nobody in particular?
I'll always show up and compete either way. You know what I mean? Like if I show up and face Dos Santos every single time, that's great for my game. You know what I mean? Like he's a great competitor. So like that's a splash effect that's going to come onto me each time. You know, and you know that distance will close, right?
I was really impressed, man. I can't remember what tournament it was. Yet I saw you against Dos Santos. And he had you in like this nasty bow and arrow choke, and your face is like purple, and you're not tapping, and you end up getting out of it, and I couldn't even believe it. I was just shaking my head after. I couldn't believe you got out of that choke.
Yeah, I think we're all there now. Ahmed saw that too, eh?
Yeah, I did. I could not believe. I've been in that bow and arrow choke a couple times myself, and I never got out. I was like, how the hell did you get out of that, man? That was insane. But
I remember,
Something, bro. That's it.
yeah, I was gonna say, is that something you train, or is it just you're like, yo, you ain't tapping, bro?
in my head, literally, I'm like, bro, no.
Oh man, if he's listening to this, he's gonna so bow and arrow the shit out of you the next time.
Last time we versed each other, he did do it. Last time we fought each other.
Last time you matched each other, you.
Always a.
No, that's good, man. Well, hey, listen, I do wish you good luck. Especially you're doing provincials, right?
Yeah, I'll do provincials too, for sure.
All right, man. So we'll see you in that's about a month's time, about a month from this week, I believe. So. Yeah, man. Let's see what happens. I mean, I'll be there. I might duck adult though, so I don't know. I might not be there. Hey, Jordan, did Jordan and Chris ever face each other? Do you guys face each other?
We did at Niagara for absolute finals.
How did that go? I totally forgot about that.
It was like a really, really boring match. I pulled guard on Chris. I kept telling him about how I was gonna like throw, and like I kept talking judo, and he thought I was gonna come out with some judo.
And then he just jumped guard and then refused to open it.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, I just opened his guard, and then we waited for the time to run, and something happened. I forget.
I think he passed my guard at some point, and then like that was the match. It was pretty much it. It was boring as hell.
I'm exhausted.
All right.
Throw on Bruce Miano at that tournament. That was a nice throw.
Oh, I remember that.
That was beautiful. That was a fantastic throw.
Yeah, bro. You got some good judo too. You're pretty well rounded.
I try to be. Well, you know, I don't think I'm like too great at anything, but you know, I work everything for sure.
That throw was just like perfectly timed. He kept shooting in for those for the takedown, and then you just hit it perfect with that last time.
It landed bad too, man. He's game though, man. Like every time I fight Bruce, it's like the whole fight ends up being a takedown battle, you know, the whole time. And he, you know, if I throw him, it doesn't matter. Next time we face each other, he'll try to throw me. You know, he's relentless.
That's awesome. Talk to stand-up game.
I I can only get one throw in a tournament, though. As soon as you throw someone big at a tournament, everybody's like, oh, nice, golf clap. And then everybody jumps guard like Jordan for the rest of it.
In my defense, there was no chance of me ever throwing you, so.
I was excited. I bought it. Like, I actually bought it. He's like, yeah, we're from a club that does judo, too. And I was like, sweet. He's like, yeah, we'll see about that, you know? And I was like, oh. And then I remember actually.
In your head, I like it.
No,
Jordan's playing the mental. That's the invisible jujitsu there.
Yeah, right there.
He dropped me at one point trying to gi choke me when my beard was getting nice and puby. He reached his hand in for a gi choke and Liz squeezed the shit out of my beard, and I just looked at him. He's like, "My bad, I'm sorry."
It is funny though, and like you when you go up against somebody that you know and like you're friendly with, like the last thing you want to do is like be the douchebag who's like pulling on your beard or something.
Can you get like a cross beard choke going or something?
I don't know, man. I think
every time, man. Every time someone goes for a cross choke, if you got a big beard, it's in their fingers, man.
it's sort of
I would be disgusted by that, actually. I don't like that.
Either.
I think Ahmed would look really good with a beard.
Yeah, dude, good for my image. Chris, I heard you had to shave your beard for your fight.
Yeah, it's nice and short now. Back to like that patchy stage. You can see it.
It's not nearly as bad as it was when you were first growing it in, though. That was.
You know what the bullshit is? It took me fucking 7 months to finally get the beard to the point where it wasn't. It just reached that point where it was no longer puby, no longer patchy, and it was like trimmed perfectly. And I was like, nice. And then I'm like, oh, you know, I go in and the commission's like, yeah, you gotta fucking buzz that down. And now it's back to this patchy bullshit. I'm pissed about it.
What was the reason that you had to trim it?
I didn't want people to reach for chokes and intertwine with my beard.
I don't know. That sounds ridiculous.
Okay, well, on that note.
All right, Chris. Is there any sponsors you want to shout out to at all?
NeoJits, Eco Roof London, Creve Consulting. I don't know, man. Black Diamond Bar and Sports Grill. They're really just a bunch of people who just sponsored me for my fight, right? So, Battle Labs, Joe Arco. That's it, man.
All right.
That's amazing, man.
Anything else before we wrap up, Chris?
No. I just want to talk about that story with Adam under the table and.
So, anyways, that's a wrap for episode 5 of Just the Gi Top podcast. We will not be discussing that story. Yeah, we'll tune in next week to not discuss that story as well. All right, have a great night, everybody.